Cold showers, ice baths, remote breathing in freezing water. Some people swear it's the ultimate biohack, that it transforms your energy, your mindset, your entire life. Others say it's just voluntary torture with no real benefit beyond bragging rights on Instagram. So what's the truth? Does cold exposure actually boost your health and longevity? Or are millions of people just freezing themselves for nothing? In this video, I'm going to break down the actual science of cold showers and ice baths, the proven benefits, the potential risk, and exactly how to do it the right way to maximize results without hurting yourself. I'm Thomas here, and if you want weekly science-backed hacks on biohacking, energy and longevity, hit that subscribe button right now, and let's dive into the cold hard truth. When you step into cold water, your body goes through a fascinating cascade of responses that most people never fully understand. The immediate shock response. The second that cold hits your skin, thermoreceptors, specialized nerve endings, send an emergency signal to your brain. We're in danger to freezing. Your sympathetic nervous system explodes into action. Adrenaline and noradrenaline flood your bloodstream within seconds. Your heart rate jumps from maybe 60 beats per minute to 100 or more. Your breathing becomes rapid and shallow. That's why you gasp. This isn't just discomfort. This is your ancient survival system kicking into high gear, the same response your ancestors had when falling through ice while hunting mammoths. The vascular response. Here's where it gets really interesting. Your blood vessels undergo massive vasoconstriction. They squeeze tight like someone clenching a fist around a garden hose. Blood gets shunted away from your extremities and skin, rushing to protect your vital organs. Your blood pressure spikes. Your heart has to work harder to pump blood through these constricted vessels. This is actually exercise for your cardiovascular system, like doing cardio without moving. When you get out and warm up, the opposite happens, vasodilation. Blood rushes back to your extremities, bringing fresh oxygen and nutrients while flushing out metabolic waste. It's like a pump for your entire circulatory system. The neurochemical explosion. But here's the part that really blew my mind when I first learned it. Cold exposure triggers a massive release of dopamine, up to 250% increase that can last for hours. Let me put that in perspective. Chocolate increased dopamine by about 50%, sex about 100%, cocaine 225%. A cold plunge gives you a bigger dopamine hit than cocaine, legally, safely, and without destroying your life. This isn't just about feeling good. Dopamine is your motivation molecule. It's what makes you want to pursue goals, tackle challenges, feel capable and confident. This is why people who do cold exposure regularly often report feeling unstoppable. The metabolic shift. Your body also starts producing heat through something called non-shivering thermogenesis. You activate brown adipose tissue, brown fat, which literally burns calories to create heat. It's like turning on thousands of tiny furnaces through your body. Your metabolism can increase by up to 350% during cold exposure. You're literally burning calories just standing there, shivering. The bottom line, the cold literally resets your nervous system and wakes up every cell in your body. It's controlled stress that makes you stronger. Let's talk about what all this biological chaos actually does for your health and longevity, mental and cognitive benefits. That dopamine surge I mentioned is not just temporary high. Regular cold exposure appears to improve baseline dopamine levels, meaning you feel more motivated and focused all the time, not just after the cold. Studies show improved mood, reduced anxiety, and even reduction in depression symptoms. One study found that cold water swimming significantly reduced depression score, as effective as some antidepressants without side effects. But here's what I find most valuable. It builds mental resilience. Every time you voluntarily step into discomfort and control your response, you're training your nervous system. You're literally rewiring your brain to handle stress better. Think about it. If you can stay calm in freezing water, that difficult conversation with your boss seems a lot less intimidating. That workout you've been avoiding suddenly double. You develop what researchers call stress inoculation. You become harder to rattle. physical performance benefit. For athletes and anyone who trains, cold exposure is a game changer for recovery. Cold reduces inflammation by constricting blood vessels and decreasing metabolic activity. Studies show a significant reduction in muscle soreness and faster recovery between training sessions. Professional athletes have been using ice baths for decades. There's a reason for that. Your cardiovascular system gets a serious workout. Regular cold exposure improves circulation, increases capillary density, and may even lower blood pressure over time. Your heart becomes more efficient at pumping blood. The immune system gets a boost too. Studies show that people who take regular cold shower have 29% fewer sick days. The cold stress activates immune cells and increases white blood cell count. And here's something fascinating. Cold exposure increases norepinephrine by up to 530%. Norepinephrine is a hormone and neurotransmitter that enhances focus, attention, and vigilance. It also has anti-inflammatory effects through the body. The longevity connection. This is where cold exposure gets really interesting for longevity. Chronic inflammation is arguably the biggest driver of aging and age-related disease. Heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancers, they all have inflammatory components. Regular cold exposure significantly reduces inflammatory markers like IL-6 and CRP. Cold exposure also activates something called hormesis, beneficial stress that makes your body stronger. It's the same principle as exercise. The temporary stress causes adaptation that makes you more resilient. There's emerging evidence that cold exposure might activate longevity pathways similar to caloric restriction. It increases AMPK, a cellular energy sensor that's associated with increased lifespan. It may also influence sirtuin, the so-called longevity genes. Cold exposures improve mitochondrial function, your cellular power plants. Better mitochondria means more energy, better metabolism, slower aging. And here's something wild. Cold exposure increases something called RBM3, RNA binding motif protein 3. This protein protects synapses in the brain and may help prevent neurodegenerative disease. Hibernating animals produce tons of this stuff, and now we know humans can too. Quick pause before continuing the video. If you like the video and you are new here, please subscribe. It really means a lot and helps the channel. Also, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button. Finally, if you think something could be better or if you want me to make a video on a specific subject, tell me in the comments. All of this really helps more guys over 25 discover this hacks on the channel. And I'll post new videos every week on biohacking, energy, and longevity, so no one will miss out. Thank you so much. So you're convinced you want to try cold exposure. Should you invest in the 5,000 ice bath setup, or is your shower enough? Cold showers, the accessible option. Cold showers are the getaway drug of cold exposure, and honestly, they're incredibly effective. You can start tomorrow morning. No equipment needed, no ice, no preparation. Just turn the dial to cold for the last 30-60 seconds of your regular shower. That was just from 30 to 90 seconds of cold showers. The water temperature from your tap usually around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, is cold enough to trigger all the physiological responses we talked about. You'll get the dopamine, you'll get the norepinephrine, you'll build resilience. The key advantage is consistency. It's easy to do a cold shower every single day. It becomes part of your routine, like brushing your teeth. Ice bath, the power tool. Ice baths are a different beast entirely. We're talking about 33 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 to 15 degrees Celsius, water of 5 to 15 minutes. This is much stronger stimulus. The colder temperature and longer duration mean more profound physiological changes. Greater hormone release, stronger anti-inflammatory effects, more brown fat activation. For serious athletes or people dealing with significant inflammation, ice baths can be transformative. The recovery benefits are more pronounced, but they require commitment. You need a tub, ice, time, and honestly, serious mental fortitude. It's also easier to overdo it with ice bath. Too long, too cold, too often can actually impair training adaptation and immune function. The verdict? Here's my take. You don't need an expensive ice bath setup to get massive benefit. A cold shower every morning can transform your energy, mood, and resilience. Start with cold showers. Do them for at least 30 days. If you love it and want more, then consider ice bath. But don't let perfect be the enemy of good. The best cold exposure protocol is the one you'll actually do consistently. I know guys with $10,000 cold plunges who use them twice a month, and I know guys who do 2-minute cold shower every day and feel incredible. Guess who's getting more benefit? Cold exposure is powerful medicine, but like any medicine, you need to dose it properly. Here's exactly how to start safely and effectively. The progressive protocol. Week 1, the introduction starts with your normal hot shower. At the very end, turn it to cold for just 15 to 30 seconds. Yes, it will suck. Yes, you'll get. That's normal. Focus on your breathing. Long, slow exhale. Don't hyperventilate. The urge to jump out is strong. That's your brain trying to keep you safe. Override it. You're safe. Week 2, building tolerance. Increase to 45 to 60 seconds. You'll notice it gets easier. Not comfortable, but manageable. Your body is already adapting. Start playing with the temperature. Make it a bit colder if your initial settings were barely cool. You want it uncomfortable but not painful. Week 3, finding your age. Push to 90 seconds to 2 minutes. This is where the magic happens. The first 30 seconds still suck, but then something shifts. You find calm in the chaos. Try starting with cold instead of ending with it. This is harder mentally, but prevents you from procrastinating. Week 4 and beyond, work up to 2 to 3 minutes of pure cold. Some people go longer, but research shows diminishing returns after 3 minutes for most benefits. Experiment with timing. Morning for energy, post-workout for recovery. Find what works for your goals and schedule. Ice bath protocol. If you graduate to ice bath, here's the approach. Start at 59 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius. Cold but not choking. 3 to 5 minutes maximum. You can use your bathtub with cold tape water to start. Gradually decrease temperature and increase duration over weeks. Work for a while 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius for 5 to 10 minutes. Some go colder and longer, but this range gives you most benefits without excessive risk. 1 to 2 sessions per week is plenty for most people. More isn't always better. Your body needs time to adapt between sessions. Never do ice baths alone when starting. Have someone nearby. Cold water can cause rapid changes in blood pressure and heart rate. Critical safety points. Never force it. If you feel dizzy, excessively numb, or experience chest pain, get out immediately. This isn't about being tough. It's about intelligent stress. Don't do cold exposure if you have heart conditions, high blood pressure, or are pregnant without consulting your doctor. The cardiovascular stress is real. Avoid cold exposure immediately after strength training if muscle growth is your primary goal. The anti-inflammatory effect can blunt muscle protein synthesis. Wait at least 4 hours, or do it on separate days. Don't do breathwork like Wim Hof method in the water. The combination of hyperventilation and cold water has led to drownings. Breathwork before, normal breathing during. Never use alcohol to warm up before or after. Alcohol plus cold exposure is dangerous. It impairs your body's ability to regulate temperature. The mental game. The secret to cold exposure isn't physical, it's mental. Your body can handle much more than your mind believes. Don't negotiate with yourself. When it's time to turn the water cold, do it immediately. The anticipation is worse than the reality. Focus on your breathing. Box breathing works great. 4 counts in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 out. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and calms the panic response. Reframe the sensation. Instead of "this is freezing," try "this is energizing." Your interpretation of the stimulus affects your physiological response. Let me be real with you about my cold exposure journey, because it wasn't pretty at first. When I started 3 years ago, 30 seconds of cold water felt like absolute torture. I'm talking full body panic, hyperventilation, contained every second, practically crying. I genuinely thought there was something wrong with me watching people on YouTube calmly sitting in the ice bath. But I stuck with it. Every morning, no matter what, 30 seconds became 45. 45 seconds became a minute. After 2 weeks, something clicked. I stopped fighting it and started accepting it. Now, my morning 2-minute cold shower is non-negotiable. It gives me more sustained energy than coffee ever did. That dopamine hit carries me through the morning with laser focus. I'm sharper in meetings, more creative in problem solving, just generally more alive. For recovery, ice baths have been game-changing. After heavy legs day or long runs, 8 minutes in 45 degrees Fahrenheit, water cuts my soreness and recovery time literally in half. I can train harder, more frequently, without burning out. But here's the biggest change: mental resilience. I'm simply harder to stress out now. Traffic, whatever. Difficult conversation, bring it on. Deadlines pressure, I've been in cold water. The cold told me something profound. Discomfort is just information, not an emergency. That lesson applies everywhere in life. I'm not special, I'm not particularly tough. If I can adapt to this, you absolutely can too. Start tomorrow morning, 30 seconds, that's all. So here's the cold truth about cold exposure. It works. Not because it's magic, but because it controls stress that triggers profound adaptation in your body and brain. You'll feel sharper from the dopamine, recover faster from the anti-inflammatory effect, build resilience from voluntary discomfort, and potentially live longer from the hormetic stress and metabolic benefits. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to be Wim Hof. You just need to turn the shower dial to cold tomorrow morning and stay there for 30 seconds. That's it. That's the start of transformation. The cold is a teacher. It shows you that you're capable of more than you think, that comfort isn't necessary for happiness, that voluntary hardship makes you stronger. Now I want to know, are you a team ice bath or team cold shower? Or are you still in team absolutely not? Drop it in the comment below. I'm genuinely curious what you're at with cold exposure. If this video convinced you to try cold exposure, or at least think about it, smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm share this with more people who might benefit. And if you want more science-based hacks for energy, performance and longevity, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Every week I break down the latest research and practical protocol for optimization. Thanks for watching. I'm Thomas L, and I'll see you in the next video. Now, go take that cold shower. You got this.